First of all, tell us what led you to produce this movie?
Thank you. So I would like to just acknowledge my friends who work in a community that is supporting people with disabilities. And so they were hosting a Paralympic Games. And an idea came that I'm a storyteller with my initiative Identities Media. And why I'm a storyteller as a human and women's rights advocate is that we raise the voices that are often left out. So when the opportunity arose, I figured that it is an opportunity to tell the story of these people, but most importantly, bringing out the usually not so spoken about, celebrating some of their capacities, their buoyancy, they're thriving. A lot of them are thriving, but they also have challenges. So my film was to bring out the other areas that we don't talk about their love. A number of people in this film talk about the experiences with love, just like people who are able-bodied. So I wanted to focus on an area to celebrate, to change the stereotypes so that people can actually view people with disabilities with another eye, to celebrate also some of the things that they can do, that their brains that can raise a nation, they can contribute to the development of our nation and the world at large.
Nyari, a lot of people just look at others with physical challenges and probably just dismiss them. What's one thing you learned working with these actors and actresses in your film that perhaps surprised you?
I think the issue of love stuck with me. So in Africa, or in Southern Africa, there's a term that we call mjolo. It talks about love, the difficulty, and the young people have coined it, mjolo is a pandemic, to say love is a pandemic because it's difficult to find love. But in this community, they also, the same issues that people, they are in love. There are people who have really fallen deeply in love, and some have become victims of love, and others are looking for love. So those are some of the things that, you know what, we are not different, but also to just look at their intellectuals, as well as a guy called Christopher. Christopher has capacity, he's got resources. It's not everybody who has a disability who is poor. Christopher is the head of kettle. So those are some of the things that especially love in their capacities, and actually that some of them have resources. They are not as poor as we think that they are.
What is one thing you would like those watching this film to take away from this film? What do you want us to learn here?
To say that people with disabilities are just you and I. And also, most importantly, that we are just a moment from disability. A number of people that I spoke about two women whose stories are kind of very unfortunate. At one point, they could see, and then the next point, they can't see. So it could be you lose your sight in a moment. So disability is not like something that we need to look down upon. It's something that we should embrace as a society. And disability is not inability. Disability doesn't mean poverty. Like I mentioned, a number of guys, and even a lady called Stabile. Stabile is blind. She could see, but then she became suddenly blind. But Stabile uses her hands to generate income. She looks after her family. She cooks for her family. So I think with the right support, people with disabilities are people who can just look after themselves. They have skills, they have mental capacities, they have ideas, they have dreams. I think the idea around this film is that we need to look at people with disabilities and authenticate their dreams. They have dreams just like you and I, and we need to support the same dreams that they have just like everybody else.
How has this film been received in Zimbabwe?
I think people are learning from it. People are learning that we need to embrace disability. We need to come out of stigma. A number of people hide their children with disabilities behind the door. It's an embarrassment sometimes that they feel it's an embarrassment to society. And also sometimes society doesn't make it easier for children or people with children or people with disabilities. So I think it's beginning conversations, but not only in Zimbabwe, Esther, but also across the world. I had an opportunity to tour, just to have a little tour in the United States, in Maryland, as well as in Wisconsin a few weeks ago. It's really, starting conversations about disabilities, about what can we do to really just support people.